Science TV 111, Osei Kufuor. I'm back at y'all again. I'm here to do a Q&A. My homeboy, Jeff. Peace, family. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the first question, I guess this question can lead you into everything else you want to talk about, but um, we talk about the quantum physics world. We have scientists that talk about that, and you dip more into the metaphysics,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, um, I just wanted to kind of get the difference between the two,
Right,
and how thorough you go with the metaphysics and
right.
why you
Okay,
really.
well, when you're dealing with quantum physics and metaphysics, you have the soul part and then you have the body. Quantum physics is the body of metaphysics. Metaphysics is the soul of quantum physics. Now, we're going to go to metaphysics first. When you are dealing with metaphysics, you have the word meta, which is medicine. And medicine does what? It heals. So quantum physics is the body. So it can be reckoned with. It can be compromised. So whenever quantum physics is compromised, you need metaphysics in order to heal what has been compromised within the body of quantum physics. Now we are dealing with two different energies, but it is of the same realm. Okay? When you're dealing with metaphysics, metaphysics is dealing with energy. It is the lowest common denominator for anything such as religion, politics. So when you are studying religion, you are talking about people such as Christ, Muhammad. Okay? These people never existed, literally. They existed as, under quantum physics, they existed as a body of people pointing to something more important than themselves, such as something in the celestial jurisdiction of metaphysics, which is, again, this is the spiritual realm of the body of whatever we are breaking down as far as energy. Now, when you are studying quantum physics points to a lot of the things as far as your thoughts and how your thoughts operate within the body or the mind of metaphysics. Because the metaphysics is the spiritual part. Your mental is spiritual. It has nothing to do with your body. Your brain is not a physical thing. And this is your metaphysical part of yourself. Your body is quantum physics. It is your brain that sends the signals to the body, which is quantum physics, to heal the body. So if you are sick, you can use metaphysics, which is the brain. You can send frequencies of healing throughout the body to heal the quantum physics. So quantum physics needs metaphysics and metaphysics needs quantum physics. Even though they both are in the jurisdiction of the illusionary realm, it's still some reality as long as your metaphysics state of mind is still in tune with your true self, which is being projected into another dimension. Because you have many dimensions within metaphysics, which is your mind. Okay? And you have clone parts of yourself that exist. And the third dimension is a clone part of you that's being projected from the spiritual part of you, which is in the aspect of what we call the world of the unknown. The unknown is the reality. So when you start typing titles and putting things and names onto yourself, such as Moors, calling people gods, all of this stuff was made in the illusion. So when you use the illusionary frequency, that's what you become. For an example, when you start calling women God, right? You have to understand that you would not know what God was until religion was introduced to you. So why would you use the frequency to identify somebody who is more than a God? We're going to take it a step further. To all of you people who want to keep bringing up Kemet, like that's the oldest civilization. When you go and look on the wall of Kemet, show me some words of English. All you see is signs and symbols. Why? Because this is how our ancestors communicated. They didn't use English. They didn't speak English because English was the lowest form of frequency. They spoke in symbols. Why did they use symbols? Because shapes and symbols identify certain things in your brain that can actually break down certain things outside of yourself, such as the medunetter. You can't read the medunetter in English. And then you have an interpreter, just like somebody who got sign language. They have to have somebody who interpret language for them. The medunetter is of another language, it's a spiritual language. So you need your subconscious. You can look at shapes and symbols, and it's parts of your brain, if you're in tune with it, will break it down for you, and you will have it in your computer that will be sent into your next body, which is a body of consciousness that's pursuing you in the next life, or what we call life. Because this is death. Once you leave this body, you are born. This is a holding station. This is quantum physics. But you are actually, metaphysics is actually preparing the body of consciousness for you in another dimension, which is another brain, another mind. Now, when we go into certain things, such as I said I was going to touch on this, as cloning. A lot of people get bent out of shape. Oh, cloning is new. It started in the 60s. That's a fucking lie. You must understand and understand that when you see people cloning pets and animals and flowers and crossbreeding them, that's just the lowest of the low. Our ancestors who lived 5,000 years ago in the jurisdiction of what we call Africa could take dust from the stars and from the moon and actually genetically engineer it and clone them and make them other entities that they can use inside of the pyramids to help transfer the consciousness from one mind to another. When you get the movie X-Men, the newest movie, when you see the guy took the villain, the so-called villain, took Professor X into the pyramid and laid him down, what he was doing was he was going to transfer his consciousness from his DNA to his consciousness, which is his DNA, and he will be able to body snatch Professor X and run his mind. That's all you're doing is body snatching them. Whenever you can take over somebody's mind, you're body snatching them. Our ancestors been and done that. The Europeans is not doing anything that our ancestors have already done. You get what I'm saying? So, when we are breaking down the structure of religion, the language of religion such as mother, father, and God, all of these words were not used by our ancestors because mother and father is an English words. They are English terminologies. Mother and father was an oppressing mechanism that they gave to us to entrap us. Because even if my mother, they say honor your mother and father in religion, right? So even if my mother is doing stuff that is against my moral values, you mean to tell me I still have to honor my mother and father? That's not true. They gave that to us to entrap us, to enslave us. This is why they never give you metaphysics in school. They give you physics. Because when they give you, metaphysics, they didn't give you the healing part of it. They only gave you the physics, which is the illusionary state of it. See, the yin and the yang has to exist in order to be balanced. They only gave you the yang and took away the yin, which is the spiritual part. So now we see why we act the way that we act. Even in the conscious community, which is set up by the government, just like they pay the Black Panthers, just like they pay the Nation of Islam. I don't care what none of y'all say. Prove me wrong. But I know what my ancestors give me. See, I have spiritual investigation. I have contacts. And you all can say I'm crazy, but guess what? That's the new thing. See, I have a tribe of being crazy. You see, what our people used to consider themselves was crazy. This is why you have a lot of, when you go to the homeless people in the street and talk to them, you might consider them crazy, but they being contacted. I know a few of them that's being contacted. So being crazy is a good thing. What you call pseudoscience, I would be preferred to be called a pseudoscientist. Why? Because I'm not utilizing the theories of a European or English frequency to determine my basis of truth. If you can't determine your own truth, this is what gets me about the conscious community. How the hell you say that the white man is the devil, but then you come and fight me using his theories? This is what I don't understand. The white man is the devil, but then you say, well, it says this right here. Then I go to Wikipedia, who was set up by a European, but then I say, hold on, who said that? And then I go back and find out it's the same person that you're calling the devil. So that's being hypocritical. You're talking out one part of your mouth and blowing shit out your ass. You get what I'm saying? So the thing is, you have to watch out because there's a lot of things that's before us today that's being placed in front of us by the hierarchies, the shadow governments. You see, Barack Obama ain't shit. A lot of these people ain't shit. They are being controlled by higher up entities that is controlling them. And you have clones in the community. Cloning is not it's nothing. You get what I'm saying? They can clone your thoughts and put it inside of another body. It's easy. Energy can be cloned. It can never die, but it can be cloned. It can be altered. You are a walking satellite, which lives inside of a universal satellite, which is a brain. Your brain is a satellite. Why? Because it picks up information and it distributes information. We are beyond. It's not only the melanin that makes us dominant. It's certain organs that we have in our body that the European don't have in their body or the Japanese don't have in their body that can be turned on, that can cause us to go into other dimensions at certain times of the year. But they got us stuck on melanin. Cool, we get melanin. Everything has melanin. Plants even have melanin. It's just chlorophyll. You get what I'm saying? But we have something else in our brain structure. Our brain ounce is 1.5 ounce much larger than the Europeans and the Japanese and the Chinese. So when you are saying extraterrestrial, this is what makes us extraterrestrial beings, because we have an extraterrestrial component within the physiological system that helps us to communicate with certain things of the world of the unknown. And again, the unknown is the reality. People in the conscious community still talking about the black woman as God. They still talking how old we are. Or we older than all the civilizations. We built the pyramids. So fucking what? That's not what make you who you are. The pyramids still dwell within the illusion. You are older than the pyramids. We are older than certain energies. See, energy is born as well from other energies. Every time you create a thought, you're creating a higher frequency, depending on the thoughts that you are creating. Because remember, you are your thoughts. And you can create a better you in another body, in another dimension, in another life, depending on how you think here. Did you know that? You don't need machines. We don't need machines. We are the machine that they're using to enhance their illusion or their matrix. They are using our DNA to enhance certain things. And our DNA is not things that you can actually see. The blood that you see, the liquid, that's not what they tapping into. They tapping into what's surrounding that liquid, which you can only see under certain microscopes that they don't even tell you about in your school. So, if you have any more questions. Sure. All right. So, the UFO conference will be coming. It's going to be either at the last Saturday of September or the first Saturday of October. So, it will be initiated. I will be going into a lot of the things as far as the civilizations that they have under the sea level of the ocean. In Zimbabwe, for an example, they have mermaids. I have mermaids on footage abducting Europeans who are in the military trying to surround the oceans in Zimbabwe. And what they call the voodoo priests or the witch doctors there warned them and told them, if you go out into the news and make this a circus, your children is not coming back. Because the voodoo priests and what they call the witch doctors there were in tune with those mermaids. Our ancestors don't exist only in the human form. We have ancestors that exist in other terrestrial planets. When I say other terrestrial planets, I'm talking about inside of the inner earth, which has civilizations of entities that don't have organs in their body. They don't have brains in their mind. They don't know what language is. They don't know what time is. They don't know what age is. And they've been there for billions of years. And they don't die. And they don't need to eat food. They just have to be in a certain environment for a specific time. Did you know that? The way that we eat on a lower frequency. Physical food is eating on a lower frequency. This is why we dying so early. Because we are in an environment where we are not actually connecting to the true mother, which is the real sun, the moon, and the stars. Some of the stars that you see projected from the inner earth, these are military bases that's inside of the earth in certain jurisdictions. When you study Area 51, you have certain celebrities who has been created in Area 51. You have certain celebrities who was created in Dos, New Mexico. All of your presidents was created in Dos, New Mexico. Did you know that? And they use DNA, they experiment, they use DNA of certain things, the bones and stuff that they find. They take that DNA, they don't need much, and they clone them, and they mix breed them with certain people. It's just like Barack Obama. He was in the Pegasus Project. They taught him how to speak, how to be intellectual. And in the conscious community, they got other people who they taught how to speak and how to be intellectual. So y'all better be careful too. Because there's going to be a lot of people in the conscious community coming from nowhere. You get what I'm saying? And then I want to touch on this too as well. A lot of people running around, he's not Osei Kufuor, he's Peter Osei. Of course I'm Peter Osei. I don't hide that. I could have been took that shit down off of Google. I'm not hiding nothing. The reason why I keep it up there because there's other brothers that's coming behind me who don't have enough esteem or strength to say, you know what, I come from this, so I'm going to give up. So they can look at my life and say, you know what, since Osei Kufuor did this, I can do that too. Yeah, I changed my name. I have a right to change my name. I'm not a name. I'm more than a name. I'm more than an energy. I come from the mother. So therefore, my mother does not give out names. My mother gives out spiritual strength. My mother gives out healing energy. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, the thing that we are so confined to in the conscious community as far as breaking each other down. We have a lot of agents around here that we follow and we think that they're so intellectual because they speak intellectual words. But again, it'll come out. I know who I am. Yes, my mother named me Peter Osei. But am I Peter Osei now? No, I'm not. I'm Osei Kufuor. I have the power to define who I am. I don't have to go through the white man's system to define who I am. So if I wake up one day and want to call myself the energy of the world, I can do that shit. But then you're going to have some enslaved so-called conscious niggas who work for the government come out and say, well, you know what? This ain't him. He really Osei Kufuor. You can call me what you want, but my ancestors know who I am. They know who I am. It's not about what other people think about you. And there's a lot of people going through what I'm going through. It's not about what people think about you. As long as you know who you are. Remember, your mind is your reality. This is where you manifest. Your mind. This is who you are. This is not you. This is only the quantum physics aspect of you. The metaphysical part of you is what defines who you are. As long as you know who you are, you don't have to worry about everybody around you. Look at what I'm doing now, though. I give away free books, free curriculum, homeschool curriculum. I done gave away 3,000 fucking curriculums, not only in America, but in Africa in the last fucking week. In the last week. Not only that, when I had my brothers from Africa contacting me on Facebook to say, we can't afford your book and we love your information, you know what I do? I still send it to them. But because I give away free literature and I do free lectures, I'm supposed to be a fucking agent? You see what I'm saying? Our people don't get it. First you complain about us charging you for the fucking knowledge. But then when I come to you and say, you know what, I'm going to do something different and don't charge you the knowledge, then you got to be an agent. So it's either or with our people. But it's not for me to worry about or waste my energy with. Because again, as I said before, knowledge is a utility. If the white man charge you for the utility and you say the white man is the devil, right? And then I turn around and I charge you for knowledge, which is a utility of light to help you see, then I'm just as worse as the devil. I'm a black devil or whatever you want to call it. So it is what it is. You can't stop me. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Osei Kufuor, Black Science TV 111. I'm out. Peace.